Alright, June race meeting for the WA Sporting Car Club at Wanneroo Raceway. This is the first race meeting where production cars running for our own points. We were mixed in with street cars and production. So this is a little snippet from qualifying. Whee! So I had green tyres all around and a new sway bar on the back for full hard and had to bed brakes. But I'm an idiot, I didn't think of any of that. I just went straight up and tried to do a little bit of it, but my head just really wasn't. I got off the plane at midnight from being over New Zealand. It really just wasn't there. And then coming over the hill, I saw Laurie warming his tyres. I should have had warm tyres. Tried to do the same thing and stuffed it up. Really just a dumb idea. I kicked out onto the concrete there and just turned it around. So that was the end of qualifying. Luckily, I managed to get back in and get the sand off and get out and cut a couple of laps. I managed to qualify with a 67.8 or something like that, which put me just next to Jimmy in the Focus, so that was pretty good for us both to have similar times. But there was a bit of a mix-up with the grid, so they had Drew had been relegated to the back of the grid, so all the grid numbers were all over the place, so everyone was lining up in the wrong spots, but luckily they didn't penalise anyone for it because we were all mixed up on the start. Into the actual race, again, it just wasn't really into it. My head wasn't in it. I wouldn't say I was tired. I still got a good sleep in that. But just maybe jet lagged. I don't know. Maybe just not quite in it. My driving was really average on the day. I didn't have really smooth lines. I didn't end up smoking the clutch in it. I didn't even start, heel towing until the second race, and it just doesn't. You don't really need to in this car, but it just wasn't quite there. Start was awesome though. That little Focus is quick. I was lined in four-wheel drive. I was caught napping a bit here, but I don't think I lost too many positions. Kept Steve on the inside of me, and he got balked up there, so we just ran around the outside and got the spot back pretty quick. I stayed pretty much in the 67 bracket all day. The Focus. He stayed really low 67s, and then he even got a 66 in the last race. I didn't charge the GoPro, so I only got footage for the first race. Alex had the other GoPro and the XL for his racing, so I'll do another video on that when he gets to it. But yeah, enjoy the race of the Renault. We had a few of the faster IP cars start off the back of the grid because of mistakes and penalties from qualifying, but yeah, it was good fun in the Renault. It's a good car. I reckon there's an easy 60-second lap in it. 6-second lap, I should say. I got new coilovers for it, so I'll put them in before the next time I take it out. Brakes are unreal on it. Tyres are pretty good. I was running the Hankook Z221s all weekend, which are pretty good. It's got more than enough horsepower. Once the new clutch in it, we might see if we can get it spun up on the dyno just to see where it is power-wise and clean it up a bit. And need a oil cooler for it as well, just cooking oil, especially that 15-lap race. But it's a really good car. It's still really easy to drive. Like anyone could drive this fast. On the third race of the day was a 15-lapper, and I ended up cooking the constituents late in it. So I left it in fourth gear, and I was only really 0.8 to a second off my pace with only fourth gear. So it shows you how badly I was driving the car, because there's that much more in it. I should have been way up on that. I should have been going a hell of a lot quicker than that. But when I first brought the car, we ran out at 69, so just with tyres and brake pads and a rear sway bar, we could get the adjustment right. So in this race, I dropped the sway bar off 2 flicks, and then we went back to just 1 flick off full hard, and that was pretty much spot on. It got the back to turn in a lot harder because this car's really soft, so felt pretty good. And like I said, I got on the back of Jimmy, managed to stay with him, but I just couldn't make that gap. I think I had a little bit better corner speed or braking than the Focus, but that's probably due to the weight. The Renault's 40 kilos, the Focus has probably got another 50 kilos on the Renault. Just being four-wheel drive, slightly newer game. That's the problem. It's not really a problem, but that's the way with these production cars. Modern cars are just a lot heavier. Like the Renault compared to a Honda Civic, for instance. The Civic's put any, you know, fiberglass guards or any plastic windows or anything like that, because it's a production car. It's not the category for that. So a bit of a bummer as well, because it's a Monaco edition, so it's got the big moon roof on it, which is really cool until it's sunny and you sort of fall with the cooking. But I can't even replace that. You can get a carbon panel. There's a company in the UK that makes a carbon panel. I got a bad sportsman flag running turn 7, so DC, the DSO for the day, Dave Campbell, he must be keeping a real good eye on things. Yeah, I did that once and come around the next lap and I got a bad sportsman flag. So yeah, well, I see my lines are really bad. I should have turned in a lot earlier than that. And same for turn 4, I wasn't getting in early enough. Here's not too bad on this lap. There's a lot of laps you see I just get pushed out really wide, and that's not me being pushed by another car or whatever. I'm just not getting the car braked in early enough. And especially with a lower power turbo car like this, where you want to brake it sooner and then you drive the corner harder, so you're using the boost to pull you around, rather than trying to scrub or trail brake to lose that speed. So it's really, you know, not really great driving by me. But yeah, still had an absolute ball, and it's really cool to be the first time we won some production cars in WA. You go over East, production cars are absolutely huge. It's awesome. I think, yeah, this is unreal. This is true. Goes off at turn 7, keeps his foot in it, pegs down the grass halfway down the front straight on the outside, and didn't really know where he's at. I talked to him afterwards. He's a really good mate. Drew's awesome. So it gave me a chance to catch that pack up again, and then I got caught behind him through the S's and over the hill, and he would have had a massive amount of vibration with the sand and stuff in front of his car. Hearing he's had that much vibration, he couldn't see me. And it's pretty irrelevant, by the way, I pulled past the car. This thing's every bit of 500 horsepower to his car. You know, it's a you know, built SR20, 2.2 SR20, big turbo, Samsung sequential, you know, all the cool stuff. So normally you wouldn't see me railing past him like that. It's normally the other way around, unless I'm in my Skyline, and then it's the other way around again. But me and Drew have had some wicked races over the years. My first race in street cars, funnily enough, it was me and Drew battling it out for 4th or 5th place or something like that. So you know, he's been racing great, and anyone who knows Drew is a super fun dude. So we had a yellow flag here, which sort of got kind of annoying, and then back into it. And then the last couple of laps, I had a massive whoopsie coming around turn 4, and just didn't quite get the car settled or back into it. Opened the door right up, and Derek comes through with a little green Civic and takes the spot. And it's not really a spot. We've got to be real conscious when you're racing in mixed category grids like this. You know, so I had that big whoopsie there and stayed out wide. Now I could have really chucked it in and defended and gone real mid-track and squeezed Derek out through there, but there's no point. I'm not racing Derek for points. I'm not racing Derek for position. I'm not really, you know, he's there for points and IP. He needs to keep up with that group in front of us. That little Civic's a little bit quicker than the Renault. Like I said, really light car. That's an under 2 litre car, I think, I'm pretty sure. And Derek's a super dude on the committee with him. And, so yeah, it's really easy to get quite hot-headed and get the rage going on when you're driving. And when you're in a confined category like this, you always got to be conscious of who you're battling, because you don't want to wreck someone else's day. You don't want to have them wreck your day either, because you push too hard and they've nudged the back of you, turn you around. You know, if I'd done that and turned in on Derek there really hard, or got the car planted, you know, Derek was probably far up enough there where it would have been my fault anyway. So you know, that's what I mean. You just got to be conscious of that. You don't want to defend a position really hard. And, you know, so with IP and production cars, the cool thing is that all the cars are really, really different. They've all got different strengths. They've all got different weaknesses. So you see some of the cars. I think Ruckus or Luke Streets put out a couple of videos of him having a ding-dong battle with a couple of IP V8 cars where they're just rocket ships in a straight line, but they're so doughy under brakes and through the corners, whereas the Civic is just a monster through the corners. So you don't you know, if you're battling something like that, you want to let the car that's quicker and faster in the corners, let them get away from you. hi-ho just for a straightaway, let them get that 1 second in front of you, and then they're not in your race at all anyway. So as long as you're not losing positions to a car that you're racing, massive shout out to Damo at DC Autos. I'm so grateful for all the work he does. Dead set, best mechanic I know. Chris and the guys at Shockworks for getting the package on the Skyline sorted. Frankie at Not Scared Fab for all the work, roll cage stuff. Steve at MSC Turbos New Zealand for getting that whole set sorted for the Skyline. The guys at Hyperdrive for keeping all the things ticking along. Shane at Behind the Sport for just keeping things really, really fun. Chris and the Culture 24/7 team just for getting me fit and enjoying life. And of course, Lux Performance for all your good gear. Thank you to everyone who helps me out.